Hello gang, welcome to the latest video in our What's the Point horror series. So today, next on our list is When No One Was Looking by Rosemary Wells, published in 1980. A good year, I hear.
Good year. Good year.
So, plot-wise, now I don't know if anyone remembers a small TV show called Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Buffy.
Cast your mind back to season 1. I think it was maybe like episode 2 or 3. It was an episode called Witch, where someone from Sunnydale High really wanted to be a cheerleader.
Cheerleaders?
And started cursing people, I think, kind of casting spells on people. She was a witch.
'Cause she's a witch.
Basically. She had a cauldron and everything. Cordelia had a hard time. Yeah, so there's some context here. That is entirely what this book reminded me of. It reminded me of that episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. If you feel like going to watch it now, it's probably not going to help you because this book is about tennis. It's not about vampires, it's not about Buffy, anything like that. But once I'd read this and I was thinking about the content for this video, I did think of that episode. Little quiz for you now. For anyone who's seen that or anyone remembers Buffy, can you tell me what Cordelia is doing when she's cursed? Let me know in the comments. I will be very impressed if you can remember. I had to cast my mind back and I didn't Google it either, so don't Google it. I will know.
I will. I know.
Anyway, so plot. Other than that Buffy episode, it's about a girl who is a star tennis player who is under a lot of pressure from her family to be go all the way to the championships, the top, etc. Financial pressure, sporting pressure, whatever. So, but she comes up against a rival who is really better than her.
Better than me?
But then her rival is murdered. Sorry, that is a bit of a spoiler, but you know, it's a point horror book. Murder is probably going to happen. And it does in this instance. Only the one murder. So it's kind of murder mystery. Not really that much horror to it, other than potentially the ending, which is a bit horrific, but I wouldn't really class it as point horror. It is more sort of psychological thriller. But that's fine. It was still a really good read. I did enjoy it. She has actually done one more point horror story, which is again, actually, I'll talk about it more when we get to it, but in the list, in the videos. But it's less horror, again, more sort of thriller, more adventure. So she's an interesting choice.
Interesting choice.
In terms of her as an author in this point horror list, they aren't sort of your standard point horror, I would say, you know, where there's peril, there's weird phone calls, all of that. That's definitely a template for point horror, and her book doesn't fit into it.
It fits! Damn thing fits!
But that is not a criticism. It's still a great story. It's one of the earlier ones on the list, so I wonder if they kind of got to a point when they were publishing these books and kind of shifted focus, because sort of the standard template is what makes point horror recognisable, I think. Like when they're getting the sinister phone calls, they're stalked, all this kind of stuff. It's definitely a staple point horror, I don't know, whatever you call it, plot point.
To it, a major plot point cometh.
Yeah, so those are my thoughts. I really enjoyed it. More crime fiction than horror, but still a really good addition in the list. I would recommend it, even if it's not kind of your thing. It's still really well written, great pacing as well, some good characters. And if you like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, then you can read it and let me know if you get the same vibe.
Same old, same old.
It is a bit of a weird comparison because it's not fantasy, it's not witches or anything like that, but that's where my brain went, and my brain is a bit weird.
Might be a bit weird.
clearly. But yeah. So next episode will be, do you know, actually I can't remember. I'll have to refer to the list. But it'll be another point horror, third in the list, so probably publication early 80s. I think from here, from what I remember, we start to sort of steer more towards the point horror plots that you recognise a bit more. Yeah. So we'll see. Let me know if you've read it. Let me know the answer to that Buffy question. And before we go, thank you, Hoff. Here's Hoff, by the way, as promised. And my lifeguards in the background, if you can see those. I've gone for the Wicked Witch this week. That Buffy episode is called Witch, so it's kind of obvious. As I said before, there's no supernatural element to this novel, but yeah, Wicked Witch. Can you see that? Sort of. I'll do a picture like we did last time, so you can get the cool picture on the front and the fear factor and all the stats as well. Yeah, great. See you next time, gang. Bye. Thanks very much for listening. If you'd like to contact us or check out what we've been up to, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. If you enjoyed the video today, please do like it, subscribe to the channel, and ding the bell to receive notifications about new videos. See you in the next one.